I welcome you to the Top 10 channel. Subscribe to the channel, put a like, and we start the next top. 10 awesome species we just discovered. Every year, experts from all across the world uncover new and odd natural phenomena. These fresh windows into our natural world typically take the form of unusual mutations or unexpected occupants in isolated locations. There are plenty of fresh flora discoveries and creepy crawlies to go around in the realm of new species. Occasionally, though, something truly fascinating emerges, and the world is given a glimpse into Mother Nature's magnificent universe and all of her unique creations. Scientific groups from all over the world discovered or recognized each of these species in 2013. Legless lizard. The legless lizard is an excellent example of why you don't need to travel to remote jungles in other nations to learn about new species. 4 new species of legless lizard have been identified in one of the world's most densely populated areas. In the San Joaquin Valley, scientists place traps near Los Angeles Airport and other industrial sites in the hopes of catching elusive new animals. They discovered 4 unusual examples known as glass lizards, which they named after 4 prominent Berkeley scientists: Granelli, Campi, Alexandre, and Stebenzi. What are the main distinctions between legless lizards and their obvious, and frequently misidentified relatives, snakes? Glass lizards derive their name from the fact that their tails are brittle enough to break off in an emergency. These reptiles, believe it or not, are descended from the 4-legged lizards we are all familiar with. Snakes, on the other hand, are descended from extremely uncommon 4-legged snakes. Eyelids, which snakes don't have, at least not like ours, and an inflexible jaw that can't unhinge like a snake's are 2 other subtle characteristics. Epilet sharks would be in the final category if there was ever a poll on nature's most perfect creatures. Their streamlined bodies glide effortlessly through water, and they have a range of evolutionary advantages such as sonar, highly powerful scent glands, enormous muscular bodies, and rows of dangerous teeth at their disposal. It's difficult to imagine them excelling at anything else. Now is the time to add walking to your list of activities. The epilet, which was discovered in Indonesia, walks across the ocean floor in a wriggling motion, similar to that of an underwater salamander. The genus Hemicillium halmahera is notable for its distinctive colors. It has a brown body with dark, polygonal markings that differ from those of its cousins. Even more crucial to biologists is the fact that the epilet is not a bashful fish, it is a bright, vivid creature. If a predator that takes such little effort to hide can go undetected for so long, it piques interest in identifying other species in Indonesia's reefs. Olinguito. It's rare to find a new mammal of any kind in the Western Hemisphere, and it's very rarer to find a carnivorous mammal. The most recent discovery was in Madagascar in 2010, when a new mongoose-like creature was identified. A Colombian weasel had already been discovered in 1978. It goes without saying that this is a significant event. What's more impressive is how diversified this new species is. According to the researchers who made the discovery, there could be up to 4 distinct subspecies. Christopher Helgen, the researcher who produced the finding, believes this may be the final time such an occurrence occurs in human history. The new species, known as an olinguito, can be found in the Andes cloud forests of Ecuador and Colombia. The name comes from their Olingo ancestors, with the Spanish suffix, ito, which means little, added to reflect their lesser size. Olinguitos and olingos are nearly alike, to the point where they've been mislabeled as the same species for years. It was difficult for explorers to detect the small critters amid the dense fog of the high rainforest because of their secluded and obscured surroundings. They may have the same name as olingos, but they are not the same species by any stretch of the imagination. In comparison to humans, who share 95% of their DNA with chimps, the olinguito only shares roughly 90% of its DNA with olingos. Spiny bokeh mecot rat. The notion that contemporary mammals evolved from a rodent-like creature millions of years ago has gained a lot of traction. A new rodent has been discovered in the same location where Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace initially established their theory of evolution. Russell felt that there was a line that separated two evolutionary processes in the Moluccas hilly areas of Halmahera. The residents on one side were of Australasian descent, while those on the other were Asian. The latest discovery, a small mouse with coarse brownish-gray fur and a white underbelly, is the first of a new genus for the area. The discovery backs up Wallace's original theory, which he proposed exactly 100 years before his death. The rat appears to be omnivorous and has DNA traits similar to animals entering from the west via Asia, according to preliminary research. Oreofriend. The island of Papua New Guinea is a hub of evolutionary research. The Pedifriend amaensis species was recently discovered to be the world's tiniest vertebrate. 3 new frog species, Oreofriend cameroni, Oreofriend parcopanorum, and Oreofriend goniorum, have been discovered, bringing the total number of species in this genus to 7, 0.8 in. Because huge areas of this terrain have still to be investigated, experts estimate that at least a dozen additional specimens will be unearthed in the vicinity. It's not just a single new species that's being discovered, it's a complete new ecosystem. Lyre sponge. The lyre sponge, Chondrocladia lyra, commonly known as the harp sponge because of its harp-like shape, is a little different and a little creepier than your usual sponge. It has demonstrated the extent to which nature will go to survive in hostile environments, and it doesn't get much more hostile than 3,000 meters, 10,000 feet, beneath the ocean surface. The lyre sponge is a carnivorous sponge that adheres itself to the ocean floor in the shape of a candelabra. Its veins, which can range in number from 2 to 6, protrude long, finger-like projections. Passing fish are snared by little barbs on the fingers, which are then enclosed in a membrane and digested. Bulbs at the extremities of these protrusions hold packets of sperm that are discharged into the current and absorbed by neighboring sponges, which grow after fertilization, making things a little creepier. Scientists only discovered predatory sponges a little more than 2 decades ago. New species have been discovered on a regular basis since then. Carolina hammerhead. The Carolina hammerhead got its name from the area where it was discovered. This shark was first discovered in 2006, although it went unnamed for many years. The Carolina hammerhead's key distinguishing feature from the almost identical scalloped hammerhead is the number of vertebrae. The new species has fewer vertebrae than its cousins by about 10. Despite their similar appearances, the two species' DNA is vastly different. It's not unusual for the shark's formal name to take a long time to be announced. The first mention of the new shark was in 1967, and the story has progressed over the previous 4 decades, culminating in the discovery of a new species. These sharks are thought to be distributed all over the world, although identification is challenging due to the fact that hammerhead shark migration behaviors are still completely unknown. The 56 samples needed to identify the Carolina hammerhead were taken in the Charleston, Beaufort area off the coast of South Carolina. Cambodian tailorbird. Another fantastic illustration of 2 previously mentioned points of interest is the tailorbird. It is extremely rare to discover a new species in the settings where this bird was discovered, and it is not required to travel into dense tropical jungles to find previously unknown animals. The Cambodian tailorbird, Orthotomus chactomuk, was discovered in Phnom Penh, Cambodia's capital. One of the subjects was discovered in the middle of a construction zone. The term tailorbird comes from the meticulousness with which they construct their nests. Tailorbirds have been observed sewing leaves into their nests. Following its discovery, a thorough examination of the bird's plumage, DNA, and songs confirmed the discovery of a new species. This provides scientists optimism as they explore familiar territory in quest of species that have been ignored. Cambodian tailorbirds have already been suggested for inclusion on the near-threatened list because to their scarcity. North Atlantic killer whale. This addition to the list could be an example of evolution in action. There are 3 types of killer whales recognized by research at the moment. This fourth species has been discovered in the Indian Ocean's southern reaches. This new whale is thought to be the same as a stranded orca seen on a New Zealand beach in 1955. According to recent research, the killer whale population diverged over 400,000 years ago. Differences in behavior, dietary habits, and genetic sequencing are among the primary distinctions for the proposed new class. A smaller, white eye patch and a bulbous head distinguish the new species. Tiger spider. The rainforests of Sri Lanka are most likely on your list of places to avoid if you're squeamish or even remotely arachnophobic. Another major explanation has recently been added to the list of reasons why. Poecilotheria rajae, a newly discovered tarantula species, is characterized as face-sized, measuring about 20 centimeters, 8 in across. The tarantula is notable for the gray and yellow stripes that run along its legs and body, redefining scary. The enormous spiders prefer established old trees, however due to destruction, they have recently gone inside ancient and abandoned structures. A police detective was hired to track down the creatures, several of which were discovered within a local hospital, as part of the effort to identify the new species. Subscribe to the channel and like it, there are still many interesting stories ahead.